Hi grade teams, this is a little DIBELS refresher. If you're in the middle of doing progress monitoring and you're curious about where to find that information or how to get the materials on our drive. So to do a progress monitoring assessment, you would go to mclass.amplify.com/assessment. And when you arrive at the DIBELS screen, you will most likely have to put in your credentials again and your password. And now you'll be at the assessment page, and I'm going to just sync a class so we can get some information. Okay, so when you arrive at this page, I'm looking at class 418 right now. You'll see that this is this class's benchmark data, and they're all completed, and you've got their composite scores in the circles, and they're color coded from red all the way up to yellow, green, and then you'll see the students' names. If I was to click on any student, you can see that all of the scores are right there, and I can't test anymore because the beginning of year benchmark is closed out, so there's nothing I could test there. When the March benchmark opens, this right here will light up blue, so you'll be able to click on those individual assessments. But for now, we can't do that. And in the in-between spot is when you're going to do the progress monitoring. That's where you would do these same exact tests, the ORF, the reading fluency, the accuracy, and I'm not sure about the maze, but we'll see what lights up in progress monitoring. It's the same exact test, but it's different text. So I'll show you what I mean. So to get the progress monitoring, you're going to go here where it says progress. And when you click that, the same student is right here, and you'll see that ORF is lit up for her. So when I click that, this is working on my laptop because it's a Mac, but this is what you would be clicking on your iPad because this particular program works on iOS, which is an Apple-run product. So just so you know, the story that you would progress monitor to see how the student is doing is called Juan's Animals. So on your side, on your Mac laptop or on your iPad, this is what you would see, and this is what you would mark as the student reads. Now the student needs student-facing materials. So where do you find those? And the same way we found them for progress monitoring on the main drive, the same way we found them for benchmarking on the main drive, you'll find progress monitoring. So you go to main drive, and there is a DIBELS folder. It's not in any of the years, it's just right in the main drive. And when you click it, benchmarks are there. Soon I'll be adding the middle of year benchmark student facing, but for right now, you need the progress monitoring. And in here, you'll find the grade that you're about to test. And I'm in grade 4, and it's the ORF. And this is the screen I would share with the student. And when I'm looking on my iPad, I'm seeing I'm going to be testing Juan's Animals. And when I'm sharing my screen, I will be sharing Juan's Animals here. So if I progress monitor this student and they don't pass, and in a few weeks I'd like to do it again, I'd go back to the same place, but it would put me to another story. So you'll see down here at the bottom, progress monitoring, ORF, grade 4, and the 1 means this is form 1. The next time I do progress monitoring, this story is going to come up. A nest made of paper for grade 4. And down at the bottom, this shows me that this is form 2. And you can keep going till the end of the year. For as many times as you're going to progress monitor, you'll find all the different forms here on the drive. Okay, so that's where you find the progress monitoring forms. And if by chance, I'm going to exit here, the student needs to continue, after you do that test with them, something else might light up. But for right now, we're only doing the ORF, which is the story. If I'd like to see other things, I could click down here, letter sounds, word reading, oral reading fluency. These are other things that I could test separately, but that's up to you. And if you want to find the student-facing stuff for this, this is not on our drive. So all of the materials that you find here on our drive, I've downloaded from the DIBELS main website, and that's the University of Oregon website. So let me show you how to find that information. So we're right here, we're in the main drive, DIBELS, and here's where we find the student-facing benchmarks, progress monitoring. Everything I'm talking about is here in these PowerPoints on the main drive in case you'd ever like to go back and take a look at them again. Okay, so back to the student-facing, I would go to Google and Google University of Oregon DIBELS materials. And when I do that, it's the first thing that you land on. And right here is where we find all of the student-facing materials, teacher guides, or anything you might need to DIBELS on the iPad. This is where we find the paper version. So I would put download testing materials, agree. And for benchmarks, this is where we find all of the benchmarks, okay, for all of the different grades. So student materials, teacher-facing, maze, any scoring books, any of the words or the directions that you should be saying in the teacher guides, everything is here. And this is where I've downloaded it onto our drive. So for progress monitoring, there's this drop down, and this is where you would find everything. So the ORF student materials, that's what I downloaded right here with Juan's Animals. If you were going to be doing something else in progress monitoring, for example, let's see. If you were going to go back, for example, to grade 3 and do the word reading, you would find it here. And again, down at the bottom, you'll see this is grade 3, form 1. And then the next time you progress monitor, it's a new set of words, and this would be down at the bottom, form 2. Okay, so quick review. On the mclass/assessment website, benchmark is where we find all of the current benchmark information for the students. And in between benchmarks, we do the progress monitoring, and you click it right there. Your assessments are found. Anything that lights up blue is what you can assess, or you can find additional things to assess here. And to find these forms, they're found on our main drive in the DIBELS folder. You've got benchmarks and progress monitoring. If you don't see the form here, then you go to the University of Oregon website, and that's where all of the materials are located. So like I said, everything I mentioned is in these DIBELS PowerPoints, and you can always go back to that or just give me a call if you have any questions. All right, thanks.